We all have awaited this moment for about 7 months, the landing of Perseverance in Mars, and waited for a line, touchdown confirmed. Now we are going to explain what it's going to do at Mars and science behind it. Welcome to our channel, Scientific Boys.
To understand about Perseverance, first we gotta know about Curiosity, which was Perseverance's old cousin. Curiosity was sent to Mars to check the habitability of Mars. It found nutrients and energy sources that microbes could have used and established in Mars. Indeed, at regions that could have been friendly to life in past.
This Perseverance landed at Jezero crater to examine the soil and atmosphere in Mars. But why Jezero crater, you may ask? Scientists suspect that Jezero crater has sediments with clays and carbonates, evidence that water likely once carved the channel that then carried sediments to form deltas. So now, let's see what are the goals to be achieved by Perseverance.
There are 4 main goals for Perseverance. First one is to determine whether life ever existed on Mars, and second is to characterize the climate of Mars, and third is to characterize the geology of Mars, and last is to prepare for human explorations.
The rover Perseverance was launched on 30th July 2020 in the rocket Atlas V. It was a long 7-month journey to the Mars, but it's not easy. The rover has to bear 14 g of pressure during the liftoff and journey of 7 months to Mars filled with radiation, and it has to bear 7 g of pressure during landing.
The 7 minutes of terror started when the last stage of rocket entered the Martian atmosphere. It's called the 7 minutes of terror because it takes 20 minutes for light to go back and forth, which means there will be a massive delay for any kind of information to reach the rover. So the rover's landing cannot be controlled from Earth, it has to be fully autonomous. We just have to hope that it lands safely.
The cruise stage separates at the start of 7 minutes of terror. Few seconds later, the rover enters the atmosphere. Due to friction, the face of the module heats and it is protected by the heat shield. After the parachute deployed to reduce the speed, then the back shell is separated and starts powered descent. A set of cables lower the rover safely. This maneuver is known as sky crane, and then touchdown. We use the sky crane and not the powered descent to directly land because the powered descent may cause debris from the Martian surface to rise up and damage the rover.
After the rover lands, it has to survive the night, and what's especially a problem is the temperature. Temperature drops up to minus 70 degrees Celsius. This cold temperature may damage the electronics on the rover. To prevent these kind of damages, they have onboard heaters. They heat the motors and other electrical parts of the rover to make them run smoother. But the heaters take so much energy to heat the rover, they take 2/3 of the energy of the rover.
Perseverance rover will carry 7 primary instruments, but to simplify things, we are mentioning only 5 primary instruments. First instrument, Mastcam-Z, an advanced camera system with panoramic and stereoscopic imaging capability and the ability to zoom. The instrument can also help the scientists assess the mineralogy of the Martian surface and assist with rover operations. Second instrument, Mars Environmental Dynamics Analyzer (MEDA), a set of sensors to provide measurements of temperature, wind speed, direction, pressure, relative humidity, dust size, and its shape. Third instrument, Mars Oxygen ISRU Experiment (MOXIE), an exploration technology investigation to produce oxygen from Martian atmospheric carbon dioxide. Instrument number 5, SuperCam. SuperCam is an instrument that can provide imaging, chemical composition analysis, and mineralogy. This instrument can detect the presence of organic compounds in rocks and regolith from a distance. Instrument number 4, Scanning Habitable Environments with Raman and Luminescence for Organics and Chemicals. Sherlock, a spectrometer to provide fine-scale imaging and use an ultraviolet laser to determine fine-scale mineralogy and detect organic compounds. Sherlock is the first UV Raman spectrometer to fly to the surface of Mars and will provide complementary measurements with other instruments in the payload.
Now let's talk about the first powered flight outside Earth. Ingenuity is a robotic rotorcraft which scouts the terrain of Mars and takes aerial pictures of Mars. Ingenuity can be used to examine the landing sites of future rover landings. Ingenuity was attached at the bottom of the rover and deployed on the ground after landing. It is planned to make flights within 30 solar days or 31 Earth days after landing. Ingenuity is primarily a technology demonstration and is not for any scientific test.